After winning the new World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions, Seth freaking Rollins already found himself with his first challenger tonight when he stepped into the ring with the Judgment Day's Damian Priest. We also saw a couple of qualifying matches for this year's Women's Money in the Bank match. Natalya battled Zoe Stark, and Becky Lynch took on Sonya Deville. Let's take a look at everything that happened on tonight's episode of Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we hope to have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the legendary Elite Excel Center, formerly the Hartford Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut, on the USA Network. And we started it off with the aforementioned World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. He cut a promo and was interrupted by Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And, well, I'll say it like this. Surprisingly, it ended without any physical contact, but some seeds were planted for a potential Judgment Day breakup at some point. It was all pretty standard stuff. They did a decent job hyping the main event, but the segment didn't do much unless we get a payoff to the tension between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. So we're just going to bypass that, and we're going to get into our first of the two women's Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Becky Lynch squaring off against Sonya Deville. 11 minutes and 20 seconds. And qualifying for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, the man, Becky Lynch. She wins it in 11:20. I'll go as far as to call this the sleeper fight of the night, if I'm going to be honest with you. You think Sonya Deville, you're thinking, oh, this is not going to be really any good. But yes, there were a lot of moving parts here. I mean, Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark came out. You already had Chelsea in Sonya's corner. It almost had the makings of a 4-on-1 handicap match, even though it didn't really amount to it. But when Chelsea's distractions became too much to handle, the man went after her and threw her into the barricade several times. And then she did the same thing to Sonya Deville when she tried to help. While Deville uses more MMA offense, both of these women have a similar style in the ring. They both like to use a wide variety of maneuvers, so they were able to put together a fun match that had a story that was easy to follow. Lynch picked up the win to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank match. This could have been a throwaway bout, but it ended up being pretty decent, which is why I'm going to call this the fight of the night here. Sonya Deville is one of the few former MMA stars who throws punches like a wrestler, not a martial artist. It makes her easier to watch sometimes. And the way Sonya jumped right into the manhandle slam looked way too obvious. But nonetheless, 3.25 stars, I believe, is the correct rating for this match. And I'll even go as far as, like I said, to call it the sleeper fight of the night. I didn't really have any high hopes going into it, especially because I felt this was going to be a predictable outcome, which it was. We all knew Becky was going to win this thing, and no surprise she did. But at least, they made Sonya look halfway decent tonight. They could have easily fed her to Becky. They could have had her. It could have been a delicious squash, but no, they actually took the time and made Sonya look like a bit of a threat here, even though she really wasn't, to be honest. But nonetheless, 3 to 3.25 stars, sleeper fight of the night. So MF, there's nothing left to say except the man is going to London, as she'll be joining your girl Zelina Vega SmackDown so far in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, and heading into it, you kind of have to feel like maybe Becky is one of the favorites. Zelina, right now the way that the breakdown is starting to develop a little bit, you got to think that the man will definitely be considered as the favorite, one of the favorites, if not the odds-on favorite to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match now that she's in it. The most qualified, the most champion, the one who has the most championship material in her career. there's going to be a lot to talk about, and the excitement is there for Becky Lynch. So for me, it was a solid fight, and like you said, 3.25 stars, and it easily could have been a cluster mess. It could have been a lot of different things, but the thing was that yes, the outcome was never in doubt, but give a lot of props to Sonya Deville for really putting a really good stamp on this fight. So thoroughly impressed. Great match. Anthony, it's yours.
MF, if you thought that was good, wait till you hear what I have in store for you next here. There was a backstage interview. Byron Saxton was interviewing the undisputed tag team champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Imperium interrupted them, and then Gunther got into the face, and Kevin Owens was like, you know what? There's a ring out there full of people. Let's go out there and do this. And look what we ended up getting. This was not even advertised. Impromptu match. And oh boy, did this deliver. Kevin Owens, one half of the undisputed tag team champions and a former Intercontinental Heavyweight champion in his own right, went up against the reigning, defending, undisputed Intercontinental Heavyweight champion, the Ring General, Gunther. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 20 seconds. It was Gunther. MF, there's nothing left to say except what a treat here tonight. Gunther and KO, non-title. Are you kidding me?
4 to 4.25 stars. Fight of the night. It doesn't get any better than that. The only reason why I'm only giving 4 to 4.25, there was a little bit of some overbook at the end. It made Owens look good. I'm not mad about it. I think they could have done a little better with the ending, but other than that, I'm thoroughly impressed with the way that the match went down. This was incredible. It was a great matchup, great psychology. Gunther and Owens, dude, you could probably get that at a Major 4 pay-per-view. That's something you would see at maybe a SummerSlam. You get that at Rumble. You probably get that during the Royal Rumble match. You know how they always have those, what if matches. This was without a doubt something that you could have said, and it was amazing. I can't say anything bad about it. It was great. It was an incredible matchup. The only thing I really got to say is at the end, Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci try to get involved. Also, Sami Zayn trying to play neutralizer, trying to stop the war from going. To me, it was an incredible main event, an incredible match that really could have been a main event on Monday Night Raw. Any episode you want. This is a main event in the making, and we got it. We're here tonight. You guys in Hartford got lucky, man. This is why I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it once. I'm gonna say it again. Anytime WWE comes to the Northeast, Providence, Boston, Hartford, the Garden, New York, there's always something good that happens on these shows. WWE loves the Northeast. This is their territory. This is WWE country more than any other part of the world. Whenever you come to the Northeast in this area, WWE is king. There is no other wrestling organization, at least when it comes to major wrestling organizations. This is the area that's better than any other when it comes to WWE. The fan base is loud. They're really and I'll even openly admit it, props to the crowd in Hartford tonight. You guys represented. You guys stood on your hand. You guys did not sit on your hands throughout the night. You guys were loud. You were boisterous, especially with this match. This was 4 to 4.25. I would give it 4.5 if it wasn't for the overbook. But man, Hartford got treated with a delight tonight. This was excellent matchup. Florio, it's yours.
You bring up New York, RMF. Let's not forget. Next month, Friday night, July 7th, Friday Night SmackDown, Madison Square Garden. Big one for you, buddy. So, oh man. But that's next month. But for right now, wow. Second best fight of the night for me. There was one I thought that was just a smidgen better, if I'm going to be honest with you. Wow, man. Let me tell you what. They locked up, fought for control until the ref forced a break in the corner. They actually tried to wrestle each other for the first couple minutes instead of just hitting each other as hard as possible. That came a little later. Gunther seemed to have KO's number throughout most of the match. Owens would make small comebacks here and there, but the Reign General kept putting him back on the mat. If you are familiar with these two, then you already know how physical this was. KO can bump with the best of them, and Gunther is great at throwing people around. So this was a match made in wrestling heaven. The way they continued to up the physicality as the bout progressed was outstanding. Everything they did served a purpose. It was executed with precision. Ludwig Kaiser ended up taking a stunner from Owens before Gunther rolled him up for the win. They left this open for future encounters, but this was an awesome first chapter. 4 to 4.25. I 100% agree with the rating here. The way Gunther hits a German suplex looks so good. He releases his opponent at just the right time, so they fly a little further. Kaiser should be a villain in a James Bond movie. His voice would allow him to give such a great monologue about his evil plan. And the way Kaiser caught Gunther's jacket during his entrance was slick. But, man, 4 to 4.25, 100% agree. You could call it fight of the night, but it's right up there with another match. I think you know where I might be going with that. So with that, let's move on. Here comes another impromptu match stemming from a backstage moment. Women's Tag Team Champions, the new Women's Tag Team Champions, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And who came in? And who ended up showing up? I mean, it ended up being MF's girls from NXT, Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. And Chance and Carter said they couldn't think of a better way to make their Raw debut than to face the Tag Team Champions. And guess what? We got it here tonight. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Kayden Carter and Katana Chance, non-title match. And the winners of the match, 8 minutes and 45 seconds. The Women's Tag Team Champions, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Fun little sprint, 3 stars. That's definitely the correct rating for this. Both teams were able to get in plenty of offense because this match had more time than expected. Management clearly wants to give Kayden and Katana a fair shot, and allowing them to look good against the team as dominant as the champions was a great start. And after regaining the upper hand, Baszler made Carter tap out to score the win. The video package WWE made for Carter and Chance before the match was well done, but then again, the production team, anything they do is well done. Carter and Chance have some great tag team combos. They're one of the few duos in the women's division that has made an effort to develop an arsenal of double team moves. And that's really all I can say on that. So solid 3 stars. Very fun little sprint here. No question about that. So MF, your girls, Chance and Carter, what an opportunity for them. They went up against the Women's Tag Team Champions non-title match. Yes, they may have lost, but just like with the Becky and Sonya match, it could have been a throwaway, but no. They made Chance and Carter look good. And for an almost 9-minute match, 3 stars. Very fun little sprint.
Yeah, they got a little bit of some offense in there. We knew ultimately it was going to be a little too much for them to get out of there at the end, but you know, it was an impressive performance. They really dug down deep. They went after it. They tried to bring the fight to Ronda and to Shayna. And, you know, it was once you got to that point, it was almost impossible for them to come back from that. Gallant effort. I got to give a lot of love to the girls. they really impressed. And I don't know, and I hope you're ready, Florio, because that's what they bring to the table. I know you've seen it a little bit on NXT on the Tuesday nights. Now you'll get to see it firsthand on Monday Night Raw. They did what they needed it to do. It was a great performance. Yes, heartbreaking loss, but hey, you're not going to win every battle. But man, they definitely brought it, and thoroughly impressed with what they did. So I'm really good with what they did, and like I said, impressive performance. So nothing more to say. Anthony, 3 stars. It's yours.
Yes, sir. And all right. And then we moved on. Okay, MF. How about an MF special, courtesy of Monday Night Raw? 2 of your boys, two of your favorites, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ricochet. Unfortunately, it ended in a no contest, 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Bronson Reed interjected and took out both men. Oh, MF, what a shame, because these two are on their way to a banger.
Dude, it was absolutely. Unfortunately, it's an automatic NA. We can't rate this one, but like you said, it had the makings. It was getting there. We were on our way to something epic. Like it was getting to 2.5, 2 3/4. But like I said, because of the 8-minute match, like it was at 2.5, flirting with 3, and we're like, come on, like, oh man, this is getting good, man. I like this. 2 aerial, and it's 2 clashing styles, because you got the strong style and the Japanese attitude of Nakamura versus the high flying Lucha Libre Prince Puma of Lucha Underground with Ricochet going. So you had 2 converging styles going at it, and then Bronson Reed just railroaded the whole damn thing. And you know what? Hey, I'm not mad, because it does add to the storyline a little bit. Bronson Reed a little pissed off, not getting into the Money in the Bank because he lost to Nakamura. I honestly believe Bronson Reed, if they do a last chance matchup or a last chance for that last qualifying spot, there's a very good chance Reed's in there. He gets it. He most likely will get the final spot to get into Money in the Bank. And I don't mind this rivalry going with these 3, because I think there's a great chance for a banger with these 3 guys in the ring. What Bronson Reed has brought to the table, he's elevated himself. Like what he's done since coming back, he's actually gotten better in the ring. And I think that's another credit to Triple H and to the creative for actually giving this guy a chance, because like we said, about a couple of years ago, the first time around, he never got a shot with McMahon. Never got a chance. No way in hell. Now that Hunter's running it, you can tell it's like night and day. It is absolutely different from what they've been doing. So I'm thoroughly impressed. Nothing more to say. Florio, it's an unfortunate NA, but it was at 2.5 to 3 before the rug got pulled out from under us.
Exactly right. 2.5 to 3. They started with a nice exchange of takedowns and counter, showed some of their technical ability, and then after the commercial break, Ricochet began to build some momentum, and one and only blocked the Kinshasa and hit a code breaker before climbing to the top rope, and then Bronson Reed attacked both men to cause the no contest finish. This was a great match until the finish, but the way this ended actually protects both men heading into the pay-per-view, so it's not a big deal. Everything else we saw was good, so it's easy to forgive a DQ when it makes sense. There was a backstage segment with both men and Reed that almost felt as if they were reading their lines off of a cue card. And it felt like we barely had 2 minutes between commercial breaks. And Ricochet makes the springboard look like the easiest thing in the world, and that's why he's so great. half man, half amazing, as MF always coined it. So it would have been 2.5 to 3, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to pull out the old Michael Bullock rule and put an NA on this one. Unfortunate, because it was yet theme of the night, another fun little sprint. With a few more minutes, they were on their way to a banger, easy. So there isn't much more to say here. Then we had a very special Miz TV segment, and Miz's guest was none other than the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And Miz brings out a surprise guest, and that surprise guest turned out to be Dominic Mysterio, along with Rhea Ripley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, also of the Judgment Day. And, well, I'll tell you what, another so-so segment here. I mean, 2 months ago, Miz and Cody were fighting each other. Now the Miz was rocking out to Cody's entrance music as he welcomed them back to Miz TV. They started off friendly enough, but the Miz immediately called him stupid for being in a fight with a broken arm. The American Nightmare made a joke about tiny balls to get him back. The A-lister then brought out his surprise guest, Dominic Mysterio, along with Rhea Ripley. And Dom got the usual levels of heat when he tried to speak. After they traded some insults, Dom slapped Cody and then ran away. The American Nightmare knocked the Miz out with his cast to end the segment. Rhodes sarcastically asking the crowd not to boo Dom was hilarious, and the Miz was trying to compete with Seth Rollins for the loudest suit in the night. But there is no question about it here. We know who has the most heat in WWE right now, and that is Dominic Mysterio. He's got that, not only that X-Pac go-away heat, he's also got that Vicky Guerrero go-away heat.
Yeah.
No question.
Emphatic. But I also noticed something on social media. Somebody is a little angry right now.
Brandy?
Oh, yeah.
And you won't like Brandy when she's angry.
Oh no, man.
We saw it in AEW.
Remember that open mic night? Yeah.
I will never forget it.
Oh, my God. I don't think none of us will ever forget that night.
They say a woman's beautiful when they say women are beautiful when they're angry. She was a knockout.
She was scorching.
Knockout.
She was scorching on that night. And yeah, Brandy made a little bit of some noise on social media. And it was a little geared towards Rhea. I think there might be some I know Brandy's not WWE. She's not under contract with WWE. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I could see maybe Brandy being in the corner of Cody, with Rhea in the corner of Dom Dom, and maybe we get something there. I don't know. I feel like they want to keep Brandy away from WWE because fair enough, fair or unfair, Brandy is a little bit of a lightning rod. I'm going to openly admit it. She can be a lightning rod for a number of reasons. But she voiced it, and it sounded like maybe them planting a seed maybe for a mixed tag. But I'm thinking, nah, they're not gonna. I don't think WWE would sign on a mixed tag. I can see Brandy being a manager for the night, accompanying her husband for that fight with Dom Dom, just to be like a neutralized, just to make sure that Rhea doesn't stick her nose where it doesn't belong. But I don't know. We'll wait and see. But yeah, it was an okay segment more than anything else. I mean, they did play off the thing and everything else. The crowd ate it up, especially when Dom came out. Oh my God, man. That was loud. Like the boo birds were out. There was no filter. There was no piping noise or anything like that. That was genuine heat for Dominic Mysterio. You don't need no piping or any of that theatrical WWE BS. You don't need it with Dominic Mysterio. The minute he tried to say a word, they were on him like salt on a peanut. Like that's how bad it was. Like like you don't need anything more. The boos were loud. The boos were deafening. It was like, oh my god, like that was crazy. That was insane. I mean, that was like Gary Bettman level boos or Roger Goodell level boos at like the draft or something. Good grief. Yeah, it was deafening, folks. So nothing more to say, Florio.
Yeah. That's I mean, nothing really came out of this, but I mean, there is something that came to my mind. I got a feeling that they could end up booking these two for a Money in the Bank qualifying match. I could see it, and then we'll wait and see what happens as to who goes over ultimately. But I did hear some rumblings today. I did read some dirt sheets that reportedly they want to do Cody and Brock 3 at SummerSlam. That's what I'm hearing. So
which is fair, and I think that would be the right idea. That would be the right idea to save it for SummerSlam at Detroit, and then hopefully that's the end and the blow off.
I can definitely see that, but we'll have to wait and see what how it plays out. But I could see Dom and Cody in a qualifying match. I still can. So we'll wait and find out. But we'll see what happens. So right now, speaking of Money in the Bank, the second women's qualifying match, it was Zoe Stark versus Natalya. Of course, Zoe Stark had the Hall of Famer Trish Stratus in her corner. And thanks in large part to Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark wins the match 3 minutes and 50 seconds. MF, it may have been a meh fight, but at least they got it right. Zoe Stark and Money in the Bank. And let me tell you, with Trish guiding her, Zoe Stark is on her way to possible breakout status here.
Definitely possible breakout star of the year, no doubt. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Obviously, with Trish there, that's an X factor. That might neutralize and might cost Becky Lynch Money in the Bank. So that's the one thing, is that now you got to worry about Trish out there. So if you're Becky, that is not a person you did not want to see at Money in the Bank. I know if you're Becky, you were rooting for Natalya, veteran presence, whatever you want to say. But to have Zoe there, that means Trish will be there. So now you got, not only do you have to worry about the 6, 7, 8 competitors in Money in the Bank, but now you also got to worry about Trish. That's a tough order for Becky Lynch. So the one who actually got hurt by all this, that Zoe got through, is because it's Becky Lynch, because of the rivalry and everything else. So the one neutralizer that could cost Becky the Money in the Bank is the Hall of Famer herself. So we'll see. But yeah, this is like you said, it was a fun little sprint. Not much to talk about, but Florio, what's yours?
Yeah, and now the field, as of right now, you got Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, and now Zoe Stark. Looking good.
Oh yeah, it's a strong field right now. And then remember, 2 more Money in the Bank qualifying match this Friday night on SmackDown.
I believe it's Michin versus Bayley in one of them.
Michin and Bayley on one of them. And I believe the other one was Io Sky and Shotzi. And I think Shotzi Blackheart.
Yep. But from what I saw with the graphic, it looks like there's only going to be 6 in this match. All of when the concept first started at WrestleMania 21.
Yeah.
When they used to do it for the WrestleManias. I mean, the first 2 of them anyway. And then 23 was when they extended it. So
yeah, I think they upped it to 8.
Yeah, and 24 was supposed to be 8, but it was 7 because of Jeff Hardy getting busted. So,
Yeah.
and Jeff Hardy was supposed to win that match. So, as we all know, and then I think it stayed at 25. And then the last one they did at WrestleMania, they put an unprecedented 10 in there. So we had 10 guys in that thing when you and I did WrestleMania at your house, WrestleMania 26. But anyways, getting back to this. This match was short and didn't have much to it. If WWE wanted to push Stark, this should have been a more decisive win without any shenanigans, to be honest. That's really all there was to say there. So I would give it about 1.5 to 2 for the effort. So that's that. And then we were supposed to have a match with Indusher, Veer Mahan, and Sangha against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Indusher attacked Alexander and Benjamin. So obviously nothing much out of that. So we don't really have to speak of anything on that. But we come up now to the main event of the evening. For the first time since November of 2021, a world championship match of any sort on Monday Night Raw. About damn time. And we got it here tonight. Seth freaking Rollins with his first World Heavyweight Championship title defense on television. He's defended it I know he defended it against, I believe, Miz at a house show this weekend, but it's his first televised title defense as he defended against Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Championship on the line, and the winner of the match in 21 minutes and 55 seconds, and still the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa, whoa. I don't know what else there is to say except MF. Seth freaking Rollins, no big surprise, still the heavyweight champion of the world.
4.5 stars, absolutely a great matchup. Look, props to Damian Priest for what he did. Look, if there's a split possible coming between him and Finn Balor, I am really, really, really liking the body of work of Damian Priest. Ever since he had that battle with Bad Bunny, in that San Juan street fight or Puerto Rico street fight, it was absolutely phenomenal what he did, brought to the table. It was incredible. And Rollins, look, he's gonna be the workhorse. He's gonna have guys that people are gonna want to see him win it all. And to be a lengthy world heavyweight champion. The list of challengers that he's going to be dealing with now is going to be incredible. First, they're going to have him go after the Judgment Day first. So he got through the first guy. Great. Next guy out will probably be Finn Balor, because I think Balor will probably want to get his shot at the title. And then at some point, even though I don't think he deserves it, but they're going to want to push Dominic to try to get a shot at the gold. So once you get through those first 3 men, then we'll have to wait and see who he could go after next. Then we'll see who wants to step up. But at the end of the day, they did incredible. This was an incredible main event, worthy of Monday Night Raw than anything else. And they wanted it to make the belt a workhorse title to bring relevance to the World Heavyweight Championship right out of the gate. Very good start for that. Definitely to make that, for them to make the world, you want great matches, great battles to solidify the World Heavyweight Championship. You did a great start with that. Nothing more to say, Anthony. 4.5 stars. It's yours.
100% agree. This was the fight of the night here. 4.5 stars. WWE gave them the last 25 minutes of the show, so they had plenty of time to pace themselves without needing to rush from spot to spot. They were able to sell everything properly, which made everything feel a little more impactful. It was going to be hard for any match to reach the level of Gunther versus Kevin Owens earlier in the night, but Seth Rollins and Damian Priest did a great job making their bout feel different while still being exciting. Priest even pulled out a Hurricanrana from the top rope, which is not a move he uses often. Rollins was able to take out Finn Balor before he could execute a sneak attack. Priest seemed upset to see his teammate before he set up for his finisher. Visionary countered and hit the curb stomp for the win. It's hard to tell, but WWE might be piping in some of the crowd noise during Rollins' entrance. The crowd sounds different when his music is playing than it does after the song stops. The guillotine leg drop from Rollins on the apron looked great. Priest was really laying in his strikes. You could hear the impact of every hit clearly. And the way Rollins was able to power Priest up for a Falcon Arrow with almost no leverage was an impressive display of power. Absolutely correct here. 4.5 stars. This was the fight of the night here. You could have made an argument for Gunther and Owens, absolutely. But I felt that this match was a smidgen better. So this was easily 4.5 stars. And the fight of the night on what ended up being a very good Monday Night Raw, despite, some dirt sheets that came out late afternoon, early evening, reporting that Vince was actually backstage, which makes sense because, it is Connecticut. It is Hartford, Stamford. They're practically right there. So it does make sense that he was there, and it didn't have the look or feel of a McMagma show here tonight. No, indeed not. As we get into our overall review, this week's Raw definitely had its share of highs and lows, but it felt like the highs far outweighed the lows this time. Gunther versus Kevin Owens, the women's tag match with Rousey and Baszler against Chance and Carter, and Rollins versus Priest were all matches that would be at home on any pay-per-view. The non-wrestling stuff varied from segment to segment, but it didn't feel like WWE wasted much time this week. Just about everything we saw served a purpose. Starting a feud with Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio is going to upset some fans, but with Dom getting that nuclear heat right now, pairing him with one of the most popular babyfaces for a short program makes sense. As a whole, this was one of the stronger episodes of Raw we've seen in some time. So like I said, main event fight of the night, Gunther and Owens, second best fight of the night. You had two matches that were 4 stars or higher. We don't usually get that on a Raw, let alone a SmackDown either. But we got that here tonight. And then throwing the Becky and Sonya women's fire for Money in the Bank. Throw in that fun little sprint with Rousey and Baszler against Chance and Carter. What was on its way to being a banger of a match between Shinsuke and Ricochet before Bronson Reed showed up. The segments, were both solid but not overly spectacular. And then throw in the great crowd that was in Hartford tonight. I got to pull the trigger and give this at least an 8 out of 10. This was a very good Monday Night Raw, despite the rumblings of Vince being backstage at the show tonight. Didn't have the feel or look of a McMagma show. This was definitely a Papa H show here tonight. There's no question about that, despite McMagma being there, reportedly. So that's all I can say on this. 8 out of 10. Great Raw. Hartford did not disappoint here tonight. So there isn't much more to say. 8 out of 10 from me. MF. Great Monday Night Raw here tonight. No doubt about it. One of the best of the year. No doubt about it.
Absolute agreement. 8 out of 10. I thought they did a really good job with it. I don't think there was really anything else to say. You kind of touched on everything. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
All right, special Tony's take tonight. Impact Wrestling is at it again. Because what's going to happen is this Friday night, we're going to have ourselves another Impact Plus special event. We just recently had one back on May 26th, their event, Under Siege. Well, now we're going to move on to a staple of Impact Wrestling. This was one of their big original pay-per-views back in the day, but now it's become a special event on Impact Plus, and that is Against All Odds, that will take place this Friday night at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio. It will air on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and on YouTube for all of you who have the Insider membership. So without any further ado, here is the card. We don't have anything announced for the pre-show, so let's break it all down. A 6-man tag team matchup. The Design, Diener, Khan, and Angels against the reunited OVE, Ohio versus Everything, Sami Callihan, Jake Crist, and Madman Fulton in an Ohio street fight. Yeah, I think we all know who wins this one. OVE, clearly. Trinity teams up with the Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo in a tag team match against Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans. The Virtuosa and Trinity, they will clearly win this match. This is another easy one here. And let's also not forget here. Next month, Saturday night, July 15th, a little event called Slammiversary. Deonna Purrazzo versus Trinity for the Knockouts Championship. And I'm already going on the record. Trinity's winning the title. I'm calling it right here and now. So when I preview that show next month, yeah, get ready. That'll be on the July 10th edition of Ridiculously Raw. So mark it down. But he and Deonna will get by Giselle and Savannah in this tag team matchup. Joe Henry defends the Impact Digital Media Championship against Dirty Dango. For right now, I got to go with Henry, but I would not be surprised if Dango were to win the title here. Eddie Edwards, one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. I think Alicia will be the X Factor, and I'll go with Eddie Edwards to win that match. Impact World Tag Team titles on the line. The champions, ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay, defending against the Good Hands, Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. Brian Myers in their corner. Champions stay the champions. ABC wins that match. How about this, MF? You're going to love this. Killer Kelly versus Masha Slamovich in a dog collar match. First time ever, 2 women are going to compete in a match of this magnitude. And if they're anything like what we've seen in some of the men's matches, Roddy Piper and Greg the Hammer Valentine at the very first Starrcade in '83. Of course, Cody Rhodes and the late great Mr. Brody Lee. Or of course, I believe it was last year, CM Punk and MJF. If it's anything like those 3 matches, this could end up being a show stealer here. I'm going with Killer Kelly to win this match, but it wouldn't surprise me if Slamovich wins it, though. But I got to go with Killer Kelly for some reason. X Division Championship on the line. A return match from Under Siege. Trey Miguel once again defending against Chris Sabin. I got to go with Trey Miguel to successfully defend the title. All right, MF. Listen to this matchup here. For the first time ever, we're gonna have a fun little match here. They're calling this an 8-4-1 match to determine the number 1 contender for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. It's almost like a wild card match. Remember the wild card match at Survivor Series 95 that we had fun with back in the day? Well, we got something of that nature right here. On one team, you're going to have Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Nick Aldis. And they're going to square off against, on the other team, Team 2 comprises of Speedball Mike Bailey, Moose, PCO, and Rich Swann. Now, this is going to begin as an 8-man tag team matchup. The winning team, the 4 members of the winning team, will then face each other in a fatal 4-way match. And whoever wins that 4-way match will challenge for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary next month. I'm going with the Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Nick Aldis to win the match. And then I ultimately have Nick Aldis coming out of this match as the number 1 contender. And then the main event of the evening for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, the champion Steve Maclin defending against Alex Shelley. Steve Maclin successfully defends the title. And I believe it's going to set up for Steve Maclin versus Nick Aldis for the Impact World title at Slammiversary next month. So there's your rundown this Friday night against all odds. And then 1 week from tonight, here on Ridiculously Raw, I will have my exclusive review of Against All Odds. I will give you the results of that event. So that's that. So that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. MF, I'm sure it's the same start times for the shows as usual, I'm sure. So let's run it down. Wednesday night, we'll next be with you Wednesday Night Madness over on the MX channel, Break 5. We got Wednesday Night Madness, as it will be NXT and AEW Dynamite as always. And then Thursday night, TXN Sports World, late docket. But I did find another NBA coaching hire. The Phoenix Suns have found their new head coach. We will talk about that on Thursday. We'll also get into week 9 of the USFL. And provided he's on the show, we will have Michael Bullock here as a special TXN Sports World exclusive, share his experiences from this past weekend's Special Olympics Rhode Island State Summer Games. So we'll have him do that. And that's basically your show on Thursday night. And then Friday night, the Cerebral Smack Talk at 11 p.m., hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher, as we will have Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage as always. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all again, Ridiculously Raw, as we continue on the road to Money in the Bank, Monday Night Raw from Wichita, Kansas. And, of course, I will have the exclusive results from Impact Wrestling Against All Odds. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness over on the MF channel, Brace Fan 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and, of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, and let's not forget. Let's not forget now. No matter what anyone tells you, anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.